All Over the Road New Orleans is brought to you by CoinTrader Inc. Mind your money, and recorded in front of a live studio audience.
People who live in California, arguably to me, are living in a completely different reality than everyone else in the U.S.
It's All Over the Road, the podcast in New Orleans. This is Victor DelGiorno, the king of all podcasting, with my man, Ted Semper.
And it's good to be back in the CoinTrader studios here at beautiful Lakeview.
Yes, and we're getting on season 6 now, which we've been on the air just as long as NCIS New Orleans. Let me just tell you. Yes,
how many
they had
seasons?
6.
What?
They had 6.
No way.
Yes.
Okay.
And on this very show.
Yeah, this one.
Don't go away, because we're going to talk about our little trip.
Yeah. Yeah, your little trip to the West Coast.
To the West Coast. We're going to talk about the Landry. Jeff Landry's running for governor here. Gubernatorial.
Yep. Had a rally this morning. It's August 31st, the day of this podcast.
Yes. We went to that thing and talked to a bunch of people. Teddy ate a bunch of donuts. We got Louisiana Lizzie's going to be on from Love is Blind.
That's right.
We're going to talk about Daddy and Michael's trip to Syracuse, New York.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. That's all on this edition of All Over the Road, the podcast. Come on.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of coffee dust.
Don't talk to the song, Teddy.
Sorry.
Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim.
Oh, it's another hot, muggy day here in the Crescent City, the city that cares for God, and this is All Over the Road, New Orleans, the podcast.
Yes, it
Here at All Over the Road, New Orleans, the podcast. We'd like to thank all of our listeners, followers, and subscribers for 4 good seasons, and welcome to the show.
Okay, so, we have our friend Louisiana Lizzie, who was on Love is Blind. Her son Paul was on Love is Blind. He jilted Mike at the altar, rather.
Yep.
And, of course, his mother, Liz is a friend of the family's and was a major. I mean, she went on the show and just blew them all away with just her presence, her effervescence. So here she is, Louisiana Liz.
Yeah, Liz back on the show.
Now,
Hello.
What season was it that your son was on?
What season was that? For Love is Blind.
I want to say 4.
Do you know?
We were on season 4, and season 5 coming out later this month.
Right.
Okay, so it was on season 4. Paul became kind of the star of the show because he's from New Orleans, and anytime anybody from New Orleans is on anything, they kind of focus on that guy. My nephew was in Out of the Wild, and he was from New Orleans.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and of course they just jumped all over him. It's just something about New Orleans people. They figure, hey, these people are nuts. We might as well, they're kind of crazy. So,
well, they say the whole United States, and then there's Louisiana.
That's right. That's right.
Good. Paul and Micah had some drama to work through on Love is Blind after the altar. If you don't remember, at the wedding, Micah wanted Paul to answer first if he was going to say I do or not, and he did not. So Micah got lunch with Paul's mom to talk about her feelings, and it's so crazy that she's still friends with her ex-boyfriend's mom.
Liz, in one of the latter episodes, she's going to meet Micah, which is the girl that Paul was supposed to marry or propose to. He was engaged to, right? Basically, he was engaged to her.
Yeah.
Right? And she comes walking in this restaurant, and I said before when we've had her on the podcast that she walked in the room like she was walking onto a yacht. She came sauntering in. In a Louisiana sundress, a hat, and the whole bit, and she stole the freaking show. I mean, stole the show. And of course, I've known Liz a long time. It's not hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
So they call you up, right, Liz, after the show's over, after the the walk of shame that Micah had to make, the walk of shame.
Yep.
And they tell you what? These are the Netflix people.
Yeah, they said, hey, we would like you to come back for an episode that was twofold. One was to hang out with Michael while they filmed. We went to a rooftop bar in Seattle. We ate and we drank and hugged, and just to show there is no hard feelings whatsoever. Mike is a strong and beautiful woman, because I think, her heart was broken for a minute, when the marriage didn't go through. So we're all good. And then the next day I went to Paul's apartment, and they filmed us making a TikTok and cooking seafood gumbo. So out of probably 15 hours of filming, you'll probably see maybe 2 minutes of me.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh,
but they were they were fabulous to me. They were like, our queen has arrived,
Isn't it true every time they get you out there, they kind of fill you up with alcohol? That's what they do?
Yeah, lots.
They really
drink up, Liz, drink up.
So when is?
Oh no, you're right. My glass never got.
Well, when is that going to air? Is that going to be in the next season?
No, it's tomorrow night.
No, Friday. This Friday, I'm going to watch part.
Oh, yeah. It's a special thing.
It's a watch party. Right now we are filming or we're recording this podcast on August the 31st.
Right.
And so tomorrow it will be September 1st, and it's going to be on tomorrow night. Is it going to be like a live thing again, or no? Are they going to have all the people there again, or anybody, and then they're going to show clips?
Yeah, all the couples. Yeah, there might have been one or two who, was standoffish, like, I don't want to do that. I don't know for sure, but I think it's going to be all of them. They call season 4 the Pod Squad, and from the snippet that I saw, it was like everybody was there. Oh, and then when I was out there in Seattle, I saw Brett and Tiffany and one other, I think I saw Chelsea, and they were all out there for filming as well in Seattle.
Okay.
And
well, how does Paul and Micah, how do they get along? What's their relationship now? What is it like?
Oh, just very, very much friends. She sold her house in Arizona and moved to Seattle.
Are you kidding? Whoa,
what does that mean? What?
Whoa, wait a minute.
That's where Paul lives.
Yes. Now wait a minute.
Right.
So she left all those catty girlfriends and went to Seattle?
She sure in the heck did.
Well, what do you make of that? What do you make of that?
Yeah, what's that mean?
She's not giving up.
No, and I don't think what I'm about to tell you, I don't think is a spoiler because I don't know for sure. I'm just surmising. Like that right now, this week, last week, and the week before, she's completely out of pocket. I think that she's filming The Perfect Match, another Netflix series.
No kidding. Oh. So,
yeah,
does Seattle have something to do with Netflix? Is that it?
No, just different parts of town, because now they're the one that's getting ready to film 5 is already done. They're getting ready to start filming 6, and that's going to be kids out of North Carolina, I believe.
That girl ought to just start going to a local church and meet a guy. I mean, God sakes, man. Going on all these darn shows. Now, is it true that she has a twin sister?
No. Who said Micah had a twin? No, they're saying that I am like her twin.
Oh, you're the twin sister. Oh, yeah. You're the twin sister. Okay.
Well, is that flattering to you to hear that, or what? Because she's a lot younger than you.
She's 20-something. Of course it's flattering. Yeah. Right? How old is Micah?
Micah is 26.
Yeah, I mean, you're Liz. You'll take 26.
Yeah.
You know, Liz?
Yeah. You want to say I look like Micah all day long? That's fine by me.
Yeah. That's funny.
All right, so tell me about it. So it was a 15-hour event. You said they put you in for 2 minutes. So what did you do? You were cooking some gumbo. And how much gumbo did you cook? Enough for a whole crew?
Oh, yes, a whole crew. But let me tell you, knowing Netflix, they may or may not even air that. I mean, we were just filming for hours, outside talking, walking around.
Well, they're not going to fly you out there and not put you on. I mean, come on.
Well, she doesn't know what part they're going to use. She said they film for hours, but maybe only be a couple
minutes.
minutes.
Cut her out.
And then once again, this will air September 1st on Friday night, right? On Netflix. I'm sure it'll be available afterwards too.
Of course.
The first time. So we didn't ask about Paul. So what's he up to? How's he doing?
Well, he since finishing filming was able to go fully remote at his job. So he's loving that because it's the ultimate in freedom. And he's talking to me about now I don't know how serious, but Paul is a serious guy. He's talking about in January giving up his home in Seattle and traveling abroad for the entire 2024.
Really? And, does he have the money to do that?
He does. Isn't that shocking? It's richer than me, and I've been working for 50 years,
Yeah. Whatever you don't have, Mama will give him, that's for sure.
Well, I do that too. I like going in the house with him, like he wanted this custom-made knife, and the guy online took months and months to make it, and it was $1,100. But since I'm so vested, I wanted to pay for half of it. Even though he could pay for it himself, I still wanted to.
Yeah.
Tell him to be careful not to take that knife with him abroad because, they might take it.
Well, he's your boy. Do you have other kids? Do you have other children?
I did. His younger brother, it was Brian. They're 2 years apart.
Mm-hmm. Does he live here in New Orleans?
He did up until March. He moved to Florence, Alabama to be by his dad, who's going to teach him the trade of air conditioning and heating. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
So now, since you've been back, Liz, have you had any contact with the Netflix people since you've been back?
No, I don't believe I have.
I thought for sure you'd get your own show, and then you'd have me on with you. It'd be me, you and me, you and me.
Absolutely.
That'd be a great show, wouldn't it?
It would. Could you imagine? I don't know if it was you or somebody told me I should just bug them to death, and that finally they'll give me my own show.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's true.
It sounds like something
Because
they could say, yeah.
because we have a guy that's on our podcast all the time. His name is Derek, and he's going to be he's a meteorologist, and his meteorologist name is John Derek. He was on Selling the Big Easy and Selling the Big Easy. Well, that was on HGTV.
HGTV.
But the girl that started it, what's her name?
The broker?
Yeah, the broker.
Oh, yeah.
Brittany Piccolo.
Yeah.
Brittany Piccolo Ramos.
Yeah.
Bugged the crap out of HGTV till they gave her a show.
Is that right? Is that how she got that? Yeah.
So there's a lot
I
to
need to
that.
get with her to find out exactly how that was found.
Yeah, you maybe give her a call.
You should, Liz,
Talk to
get
her.
a meeting with them, and you and I will fly out there. Just you and me. We'll pitch them on a show. You know,
Definitely.
Liz and Vic.
Definitely.
Liz and Vic. What do you think of that? Liz and Vic.
Oh, I love it. Love it.
We just go around and we do stuff. We go around, you know, we just go around. We just do stuff. We eat stuff. We just eat. We eat and we eat.
Because Vic does eat.
I do eat. So now the gumbo did you make? Did you do a roux or did you do the fast seafood gumbo without the roux, the clear gumbo, or did you do the which recipe did you use for the gumbo?
Well, I did seafood gumbo, but in seafood we put okra, and that thickens it.
Did you do the filet gumbo or no?
I don't know, just seafood gumbo with okra. But some people that are okra haters don't put okra in gumbo.
Well,
But
I
to me,
like okra, but I don't like a lot of it. You know, you can't overdo it.
I like the chicken and sausage.
No, you don't know.
Yeah,
gumbo.
no,
Chicken and sausage.
I do know what I'm talking about, and I
Nobody
like
likes
it. I
chicken.
know that I like it. I know that I
Chicken
like
and
it.
sausage.
I don't know if Liz makes it, but
she
I
makes
like
anything.
it.
Of course.
Okay,
Of course
all
she
right.
makes it.
Why can't I like chicken and sausage gumbo?
Because it's just, come on.
Well,
It's a seafood. This is
I
a
don't like the
seafood.
seafood. I don't like it.
Come on.
Yeah,
He's an
whatever.
idiot.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
I'm an idiot because I don't like seafood gumbo.
Okay, so Liz, so now Paul's going abroad. This thing airs tomorrow night. We don't know what's in store. Micah's going to be on another show. And what's the name of the show she's going to be on? Because I want to make sure I check that out.
perfect match.
Perfect match. Now, what's the concept on that? Is it there's no? It's not.
I have never watched it, Vic. So I don't know.
I would
but
guess that they have one person and another person, and they perfectly match.
It's a perfect.
I mean,
Maybe
and
they were
live happily ever after.
Maybe they were matching clothes. Maybe they were matching
Yeah,
pumps.
They match in something.
It's the shoes.
They're like both Cubs fans. or
Yeah,
something.
no,
And
no.
They match.
They have night.
And
They all have leopard pumps. Leopard
that
pumps.
could be. That could be.
You know, it doesn't matter.
And we don't know what network has that. I've never heard of it.
I think it's.
Do
not
you guys remember Irina from the show? She had a big time crush. She was the other mean girl. They made Michael look like the mean girl.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
yes.
then
I do remember her.
she's going to be on the Perfect Match as well.
But at this point, Paul has started talking to someone new, but he's still leaving the door cracked open with Micah. So Micah is like battling throughout the whole episode what to do because she still has feelings for him. And by the end of the episode, they talk and agree to not be friends. Like, they still love and care about each other, but Micah just feels like it'll be easier if they just aren't friends. Micah also might have gone to Perfect Match Season 2, and I think Paul is still with the girl that he was just starting to talk to when After the Altar was filmed.
Okay.
So they just recycle these chicks.
Well, they do that with a lot of reality shows, don't they?
Yeah, they recycle.
they see somebody who's good at what being on a reality show, or they're interesting, whatever, and they kind
can go,
of they do the circuit.
Well, now MTV's doing a thing. We were at Jersey Shore. Now they're having the All-Star Shore.
Oh,
it's all
really?
the people from all the shores getting on one show. And it's narrated by Snooki.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's going to be a
of
big
course.
hit. That's going to be a big hit. Anytime you get Snooki to narrate something, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
But her name is Louisiana Lizzie, and I don't think her career is over. I think she's still got a career. Someone's going to call, especially
still
if they
have
put you
hope.
on tomorrow night. They really, really, really give you some pub. Give you some airtime.
Yeah, I know. I need to call them and say, like, come on, bring me back. What can I do? Who can I torture? What can I host?
Just don't forget about us little people when you become a big star.
Yeah, Liz. Don't remember. Don't forget. Remember us.
I have known you, Vic, since childhood. I could never forget about
Ted,
you.
I've tried to get Liz to move in with us.
You did? Why?
Yeah, I'll put her up. She can live. She just to live with us and to be around and cook. I mean,
Oh, that's beautiful.
it's like Martha. Martha tells me this, Liz. She goes,
Martha can
Vic,
cook too.
She says this. She goes, Vic, you never take me any place. I said, let me take you someplace you haven't been in a while. I took her into the kitchen. I said, here you go. You want to go somewhere? How about right here? The kitchen. How about trying the kitchen? Try that out. Anyway, her name is Liz. We love her. Thanks, Liz.
Keep us up to date.
Yeah, keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'll have you on again. I know you got to get back to work there because you work for a high-powered attorney, and I'm sure that you got a letter to dictate or to you do shorthand.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You do shorthand, Liz?
Yeah.
Do not. That's a dying skill. And
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't even.
Shorthand.
Well, Teddy does shorthand.
Yeah, sure.
He's got shorthand and short arms when the bill comes at lunch.
And I love chicken and sausage gumbo, okay? I do.
Thank you, Liz. Love you.
All right, Liz.
Love y'all too.
Louisiana Liz, you'll see her tomorrow night on Netflix. It's the recap of Love is Blind Season 4. We'll be right back with more of All Over the Podcast when we come right back. See you in a minute. Welcome back. Ted, have you heard this thing about central banking systems?
I have heard a little bit about that. Yeah, I don't know what to believe, because you hear a lot of
It's kind of scary. And what a central banking system would mean is all your local banks would go away.
Yeah.
And the government would control all the banks.
Okay.
And then the government has access to all your money.
Yeah.
And like they did in Venezuela, and like they've done in other socialist countries, they could just go in and take your crap. They just take it.
So this is the thing where it filters, your money goes through the central bank and before it goes to your bank.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, it always goes through, and that's a government run deal. Yeah, okay.
And you know what? I don't know about you, but that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is.
So what do you do about something like that?
I don't know. I don't know what you do. I mean, what can you do?
What you do, you have access to income.
Okay.
You have access to what they call discretionary income. Access cash.
Yeah.
It's a liability to have it in the bank. What you do is you turn it into something hard. You turn it into something tangible. It's a hard asset. And how you do that is you call the people that sponsor this program, CoinTrader Inc. CoinTrader Inc. has been in business for over 20 years. Yeah. They're A-plus Better Business Bureau company. They're squeaky clean. And they can help you develop a plan that will protect your hard-earned wealth, retirement, and what your kids get. Nobody gets their hands in your pockets, okay? Call them right now, 504-267-6004, and tell them the King of All Podcasting sent you. They will definitely take care of you.
Playing the latest episode of All Over the Road, New Orleans.
Once again, we want to thank Louisiana Lizzie from Love is Blind.
Yep.
And apparently, if you just heard from her, all these girls that were in Love and Blind, they're being recycled into other reality shows. And
that's interesting. And we're still, we don't lose hope that Lizzie, Lizzie she's always an very friendly person. I've met her, in person one time, but you've known her for a long time. She's always a very positive person. So, look for that on Netflix. And I guess, I don't know what they call it, the Love is Blind reunion season 4. Another, it's like an updated reunion.
A reunion.
And so how much of Lizzie's on there? Well, like she said, she didn't, they videotaped a bunch, and it may be cut down to a few minutes, maybe even a little bit more. We don't know.
How could you not put her on there?
I know, really.
Come on. Really. Yeah. So anyway, we just took the trip out to the West Coast. We had our listener appreciation party at the Hotel Del in San Diego. You might have caught a clip of that on our Instagram.
Yeah, I did see. Yeah. We posted some of the video on socialist media. You got me saying it now. Socialist media. Yeah.
Right.
And looked like you had a great turnout.
Great turnout.
It was awesome.
It was great. Right on the beach there in Coronado Island where the Navy SEALs train and helicopter. They got this. The military has this aircraft.
Did we say San Diego, right?
In well, it's actually in Coronado Island, which is just on the other side of the Bay of San Diego.
Yeah.
So the military, because you got Camp Pendleton that's down the road, the Marines, you got the Navy SEALs, and you got a Navy base right by there. Mm-hmm. And they've got this aircraft. Teddy, it was freaking me out. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a prop job airplane. Okay. So when they're airplaning and flying, the propellers are like you see on a normal propelled aircraft.
Yeah.
But then they can flip that up, and the props, the propellers go up like a helicopter, and they can hover and land like a helicopter. Wow. So it's half plane, half helicopter.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Crazy.
Yeah.
It is a crazy.
So you saw all this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, B-52 bombers, all this. So this is it. We're right on the coast. We're having our listener appreciation party. We had tables set up on the lawn. It was glorious. They just hired a new chef to do. First of all, they took the hotel. Google it, Hotel Del Coronado.
Yeah.
And this is a hotel that's been around since 1889.
Yeah, world famous. And they filmed the show or the movie Some Like It Hot there with Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, and Marilyn Monroe. Oh.
And to this day, it's still a funny movie.
Yeah.
If you've never seen Some Like It Hot,
I don't know if I've seen that.
It's funny. It's still funny. I think it's black and white too. It's
really?
Yeah. It may not be. I'm not sure. I don't know what's black and white, what's color anymore. But anyway, but they filmed it there. It's a world, and it's just a beautiful facility. And so what they just did is they did a big renovation on it. All right, so they restored the front of the hotel to the original 1889, where they had this big wraparound porch. People would go and hook up their buggies and their horses there. All right, this is before people were driving cars, and so they completely brought it back to its original point. Okay, they had some tough times during COVID. I went there during COVID actually. And it was different, but now it's like booming, man. And they got a whole new village there. They took, at one point, that island had a power plant that would just power the island. Now that power plant is the museum of the Hotel Del and the island. And then they had an ice house that would provide ice for the island back in the old days. Because ice was, ice was a big deal back in the 1880s, 1890s. And they turned that ice house into a smokehouse, a barbecue place. Anyway, it's just a great place. If you ever have a chance to go there, go there. We had a listener appreciation party there.
I've been by there before. I haven't stayed there like you. But so this listener appreciation party is great. Great turnout. You can see from the pictures.
Check it out on our Instagram.
We put it on Instagram and TikTok. It's all on there. And I just got one question, Vic. This listener appreciation party for all over the road, the podcast, right?
Yes,
listeners, right? I was just wondering why I didn't get invited. Was there a reason?
Well, it just wasn't in the budget.
Oh, did
it was a budget? It was a budget.
I understand.
Situation.
Times are tough sometimes.
Yeah,
you got to cut here.
Right,
I know you took your wife with you, and
yes,
I understand. I understand.
Yes, I did. I had to
but
take her.
I mean, anybody ask about me? Anybody say, "Where's Ted? Where's Ted? Did he make it?"
Absolutely.
He just know we had to cut the budget.
I heard
he
that
was busy.
I said he's on assignment.
He said previous engagement.
He's on assignment,
commitment, or something like that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, cool.
But they got this new chef there that kind of watches over all the chefs at all the restaurants. They got about 7 or 8 restaurants in there.
Yeah.
And they're all just fantastic. The best one though is right on the pool deck. Oh man, it was incredible. But this new chef, they're paying 7 figures for this guy.
Yeah,
and he's overlooking the whole. And the food was always kind of decent. When you come from New Orleans, it's kind of hard to find good food. In other places
because the bar's so high.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, that food was off the chain. Oh man, it was awesome.
So also in San Diego, you saw some friends in that, and then you went to a Padres game.
I went to a Padres game, Padres Marlins.
That's a great. Was it Petco? What are they called?
Petco Field.
Yeah, I've been there once. It's a nice stadium.
And last year I went to a Dodger game. And going to a Dodger game is such a hassle because once you fight the traffic and get by the stadium, it takes you an hour to get in the stadium, the traffic by the stadium.
Oh, wow.
And, man, Petco is just easy breezy, man. You just go in there, it's laid back.
Yeah, it was.
We had tickets right behind the dugout. And, this guy, Aotr, was pitching for Miami, who has been the best pitcher in the major leagues the last 2 years. Now, this year he's been kind of injury prone. He's had kind of an off year, but he was pitching him. Lugo was pitching for Stan. It was a pitcher's duel.
Yeah.
It was 0-0 until about the 6th inning when Aotr had to go through the lineup for the 3rd time. And I was telling the guy in front of me, I was going, just wait till they go through the lineup the 3rd time. I said, the Padres got a great team.
Did he want to debate with you?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
I said, dude, I forgot.
You always find a debate. You do. You always find a debate at ball games.
I told this guy,
with another fan. It's just good, friendly conversation.
I told him this. I said, dude, listen to me.
Yeah.
I said, I forgot more about baseball than you and everybody in the stadium know.
Which is maybe true because you do know a lot about it.
You and everybody in the stadium.
Hey,
I forgot more.
Now, when you went
I coached 6-year-old boys.
You did. When you flew into L.A., there was, the storm was hitting, right?
Yes.
And I saw a picture of Dodger Stadium, and I don't know if this is accurate because, everything's photoshopped and all that. It had the picture of like an aerial view of Dodger Stadium, and it was flooded all around it in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Was that possible? Did it have that much rain?
They did.
Could have been real.
Let me just tell you about Southern California and rain. It never rains there. So when it does, the roads are like very synonymous than what it was when we were living in the Midwest as kids.
Yeah.
And the roads were icy. You see people spinning out of control everywhere.
Just from the rain.
Just from the rain because the roads get like ice because they never have any moisture.
Well, coming from here, you've been through numerous hurricanes.
We brought the hurricane with us.
What was it like out there, the hurricane? It was nothing, really?
Well,
Hillary, what do they call it?
It was Hillary. It was Hillary. And the thing about the West Coast opposed to here is that when you get closer to shore here in New Orleans, the water is actually warmer, so it amps up.
Yeah.
Whereas on the West Coast, the water is cooler. And by the time they've never had a hurricane hit the West Coast, by the time it's a hurricane when it's in the Pacific.
Yeah, right.
But once it hits the West Coast, it's a tropical storm. So it's basically a tropical storm. Here we are, the hurricane veterans. We get there just in time on the 20th of August.
So I was surprised you were able to land and no delays or anything. And we land right there at LAX. And
came out right through San Diego, right up through Baja, which is just out Tijuana, south of San Diego. And we were right in the eye. driving in the eye of it. It was just so, I don't know, surreal that we're been through so many hurricanes.
Yeah.
And we go to the West Coast and we bring one with us. It was, we kept telling you, hey, we brought the hurricane with us.
If you have a hurricane here, you're not going to land at the airport.
No, the airport's closed.
It's closed. It probably a couple days.
But let me tell you
whatever.
something.
But
let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I noticed. First of all, this is on the way back. All right. So on the way back, I got a couple things to talk about on the way back. But on the way back, our flight was supposed to leave at 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, which is 11 o'clock our time. We were delayed 4.5 hours. Okay. And this is the reason why. The reason why is because the plane that we were supposed to board ran into a flock of birds.
Oh, gee.
And the birds got into the engine.
Ooh.
The birds got into the engine. So I'm talking to the lady at the desk there by the gate. And she's going, I'm going, were there really birds? And she goes, yeah, there's birds in the engine. I said, listen, there's no way we're getting on this plane. Oh, yeah, they're getting the birds out of the way. They're removing all the birds and the feathers. They're gonna. I'm going, baby, we're not getting on this. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So they kept saying, yeah, first it was 9 o'clock. Then it was 10:30. Then it was 11:30. Then it was 12:30. Then it was 1:30. Well, at LAX, they have the gates, right? You know, you have gate 18. All right, well, they have at 18, you got two gates. You got 18A and 18B. Okay, so when we got there at 9, and we're lined up the board, and they told us that we couldn't get on the plane because the birds, all right? Right next to us was a flight. Now, our flight was going from San Diego to New Orleans to Chicago. We were 14B. Okay. All right, 14A was a flight going from Chicago to New Orleans. Okay?
Yeah.
So they were kind of, yin and yang.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let me tell you what ended up. They strung us along about how they're going to fix the plane, We were never getting on that plane. There are birds in the darn engine. You just can't do it, And they don't have extra planes laying around. So so finally we got on the plane at about 1:30. All right. And it was the plane that was originally next to us that went to Chicago, went to New Orleans, and went from New Orleans to the West, because you gained 2 hours on the way back.
Right.
We were on that exact same plane. And they knew that all along. But what they did do, and I didn't know this, because there was a lady there who was from Russia. There was some guy that lives in New Orleans here. I can't remember the guy's name. We were chatting with him. She was obviously a Russian mail order bride. Obviously. Obviously.
Yeah.
It was, because he was like, 70.
Yeah.
She's like 30.
Okay.
And she was Russian. I mean, come on, put two together.
Okay.
So, but apparently she's a real advocate with the airlines. And this is something I never knew about Southwest. If you have a flight that's more than 3 hours delayed, you automatically get a voucher. You do.
For a free flight?
It's not a free flight. They gave us $100.
Okay.
But so everybody's standing in line. Okay, stand in line for your vouchers.
Yeah.
And we got the voucher.
So you got one?
Yeah, but here's what I noticed. Okay. And this just really chaps my hiney. All right. I'm always an A. I'm an A+, A-lister on Southwest.
Okay.
That means I don't have to check in. I don't have to take no shoes off. I don't have to do nothing. I'm TSA pre.
You like that?
I'm A-list. I'm always,
TSA.
I don't have to check. I'm always going to be A 1 through 20.
Okay.
Okay. Even if I don't check in, A 1 through 20. Usually I'm A 7, 8, 9, something like that. I think just the CIA's A1 or something, or the Air Marshal, whatever. Business class. So, but you know what? A is now the new B. They had like 45 pre-boarders.
What?
Pre-boarders. And let me tell you what all these people had in common. All right. Now, I told this to the lady at the desk. I said, you know what? Okay. I was going, well, I've got all these pre-boarders. I go, there's nothing wrong with these people. I saw one lady running down the damn concourse, and then all of a sudden she's sitting in a wheelchair.
Oh,
okay,
come
let
on.
me tell you what they all had in common.
Yeah, what's that?
They're all a bunch of fat asses. They're just fat asses.
Yeah.
That's all they are.
Huh.
They're not, there's nothing wrong with them. So I tell the lady that. She goes, but you don't know by looking at them what their condition is. I said, I do know this.
Yeah.
They all have one thing in common. They're a bunch of fat asses.
How do you prove that you're a fat ass?
You just look at the people.
With the picture.
Then they go in and they sit in a seat, take up 2 seats.
With a photo ID.
And they take up 2 seats.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, okay, whatever excess weight I have is in the front. It's not in my butt. I have no,
you
I
like
have no
to eat.
acetol.
You like to eat, as the guy told you today. The guy, the governor, can't, not Landry, but the other guy, Skurlock.
Frankie.
Yeah,
Skurlock.
Frank, who's running
he
for
goes, I like to eat, and you like to eat. I mean, what the hell's he telling me that
I know.
for?
It was kind of
What the
insulting.
hell is that?
It's kind of insulting.
And it was very insulting.
You're interviewing him, giving him publicity, giving him,
And he's telling me
his
I'm fat
name
ass.
out there, and he's like, you like to eat, don't you? I see
I mean,
that.
I'm not that fat.
Why was he even
I'm
telling
certainly
you
not
that?
as fat as the
I
people
don't
that were in pre-board.
Yeah.
They were all just fat people.
You just need to eat a little bit more. I guess.
Pre-board.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a good one. All right. My brother Michael and my dad Daddy took a trip to Syracuse. It was a father and son trip. It was father and favorite son. I was not invited.
He's the youngest, right?
Yeah, he's
Michael.
the youngest.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest. Then there's Bobby in the middle. Bobby's in the middle.
Right.
And they went on this little trip, and there was all kinds of really cool events that happened there. We'll talk about that and a lot more when we come back. It's All Over the Road, the podcast with Vic and Teddy. Right back.
I want to know
The All Over the Road
what you're thinking.
listener comment line.
There are some things you can't hide.
Say whatever you
I
want.
want to know
24 hours a day.
what you're feeling.
Tell a story.
Tell me what's on your mind.
Give your opinion.
You'll be on the next podcast. So go ahead. Don't be shy. Call 504-603-6753.
Hey, this is Larry Hankin, and I'm listening to And I Am On, All Over the Road, New Orleans. These guys are all over the road, man.
Welcome back, All Over the Road, the podcast.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, indeed. Like I said, we were at Jeff Landry. He's running for governor here in the state of Louisiana. We went to his rally today, and here are some of the highlights from there.
He's reaching out to people and asking them to participate and help finding quality people and assess them. He's smart. I mean, that's what a CEO does. He doesn't do it all himself. And he's proven that with his agency. He's done the same thing. He's got some very talented people and makes them accountable. And he'll do the same thing with the state. And like I said earlier, he really knows how to work with the legislators. They trust him, so he can work with the leadership. They can set their goals. He'll be there to help them and give them air cover instead of like this governor's done, do everything he can to stop any good things to happen.
All right, so welcome back. All right, so I don't know if Michael will answer. My brother Michael.
No, we had him on the pool party, the part 2.
Well, my brother Michael.
He's kind of, I don't know if he's a talk show host in Nashville, kind of in between jobs.
Yeah, he's doing this in the
He's never excited to hear from us.
No, but he's with Mom today. He's taking Mom around to get her hair done.
Okay.
And do a bunch of stuff with Mom.
So he may not answer.
Plus, I kind of told him we were going to be talking about this, so he may not answer.
So he's probably like, this is fake calling. Don't answer it.
Yeah, he's probably not going to answer.
He wants me to be on the podcast.
Okay, so anyway, what's going on?
He's got his own podcast, and he's okay with promoting his podcast on our podcast.
Yeah.
But I wonder how many times he's mentioned our podcast on his podcast.
Never.
Yeah. Well,
so anyway, going on in Syracuse, New York right now.
Up to the Cuse.
The Cuse.
Is that what y'all call it? That's your
We call
hometown,
it the
right?
Cuse. That's the birthplace of the king of all podcasting is Syracuse, New York.
Because your dad worked on the radio in Cuse.
Well, my dad was born there, so was my mother. And all
they
my
were born there,
family's
too.
from there. Yeah, so all the DelGiornos and the Uvas, which was my mom's name, are all from Syracuse. And of course, Syracuse is the home of Columbus Bakery, which is the most delightful Italian bread you'll ever have.
Yeah.
And you just tear and chew. That's all you do. You tear and you chew. Don't need no butter. You don't need to toast it. You don't do nothing.
Yeah.
You get it from the bakery. You tear and you chew. And you can't stop tearing and chewing. I'm going to tell you right now, you will not stop tearing. Columbus Bakery, trust me, it's been around for like 80 years. So the New York...
Did you order a bunch of bread from there?
I did.
Yeah, that's the place you were talking about.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Go ahead.
Now, the New York State Fair is in Syracuse this year.
Oh,
it's the New York State Fair.
All right. They move it around?
It's a big deal. Yeah. It's a really, really big deal. And at this New York State Fair, my dad particularly wanted to go see Herman's Hermits. Okay. Herman's Hermits is an old band from the 60s. They're an English British invasion band. British invasion.
Henry VIII. Remember that time? They were a UK band.
I've been married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before. And everyone was a Henry.
Henry. Yeah.
So they were there and they did Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, you have a lovely daughter.
Kind of hush.
There's a kind of hush.
Remember that?
Yeah.
All over the world.
So anyway.
And who's the singer? What was his name?
Peter Noonan.
He was the front man.
He was the front man.
Yeah.
Originally, he plays the ukulele. He plays the banjo. He sings. He was originally a comic. And, of course, he headed up the band Herman's Hermits. So they were playing at the State Fair. My dad had to go see Herman's Hermits. I'm going to go see him.
Of course, because your dad played him on the air when he was a disc jockey.
So they go.
In the Cuse.
And my dad and my brother are both very tone deaf.
Oh, yeah?
They can't sing. They can't hear music. They just can't. Some people just have a tin ear.
Yeah.
And they have it.
True.
So they're telling me, oh, man, what's Herman's Hermits, man? It was unbelievable. This guy is just as good as he was in the 60s. So they sent us a clip. You heard a clip and I heard a clip.
Yeah, I heard it.
What'd you think of the clip, Teddy?
Yeah, it was terrible. But I never thought Herman's Hermits. Now, they had some hits. You can't take that away. But the guy can never really sing.
No.
He wasn't a singer.
He's a speaker.
He's a speaker singer.
Yeah,
Yeah, they had a
Yeah.
the hook of the song.
Yeah,
they were
hooks.
hits.
But
Maybe
I mean,
we can pull up quick clip.
All right, here it is. Here it is. Check that out.
Woke up this morning feeling fine.
Live. I mean, the guy, how old is Peter? It's got to be 80s.
Oh, it's his 80s. So now, here's what happens. Okay, first of all, my brother-in-law was calling me and telling me about it. He's calling me during the trip. Going, man, I got to get out. He's driving me crazy.
Talking about your dad.
My dad, the stuff he thinks out loud. Oh, yeah. He said he walked up to this table of these women, and he walks up to me and he goes, I'm Bob DelGiorno. I grew up on Grant Boulevard. Do I know you? This was his opening.
I can
People
see
are looking
him
at him like, who the
doing
hell
that.
are you,
Yeah.
buddy?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and so Michael's putting up all this stuff.
I think they remember, like, they listened to it.
Well, and then
in
he
the
goes,
60s.
He goes to Syracuse, and then he shares a room with Dad. I go, Michael, what are you thinking about? Why are you sharing a room? You and me don't even share a room till we go places.
No, you got to have your privacy.
You don't
gotta have
share
your
a
own
room. You're a grown man. You can share a room with a guy?
Yeah.
I go, Michael, what are you doing? I go, I mean, you have nothing to complain about because you complied. You say, Dad.
Yeah, right.
You know, of course, Dad never picks up a check. He doesn't with me either. He doesn't pick up.
Oh, he doesn't?
But then he wants to know how much the check was.
He wants to know how much it was. How much was that?
How much was that? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
$39.
Yeah, wow. Jeez. Does he thank you? Does he thank you?
No, of course not.
No.
So,
maybe kind of like you owe him.
Yeah, but here's
all the stress you put him through as a kid, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I might have.
Well, Michael is his favorite, so
He is.
Yeah.
So anyway, here is the major deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So at the end, there was an opportunity for people to meet Peter Noonan.
Oh, like a meet and greet.
Like a meet and greet.
Yeah.
And it was a big long line, and people were standing in line to get something signed or shake his hand, take a picture, whatever. Well, my dad tries to cut in the front of the line.
Really?
Okay, yeah, big long line.
I'm Bob DelGiorno. Right?
He goes, I'm Bob DelGiorno at WNDR. Now, first of all, WNDR doesn't exist anymore. All right. And he's going, I'm here to see Peter. He's a friend of mine. You know, he's trying to Charlie Schmuck.
He might know him.
Yeah. And the guy goes, the guy's telling him, that's fine, sir.
Yeah.
Get at the end of the line.
That guy don't know him.
He goes, get at the end of the line. Oh, no, you don't understand, he says.
Yeah.
I'm Bob DelGiorno. And I'm here to meet Peter Noonan. He's going to want to talk to me. And they go, that's fine. He's going, that's fine, Bob DelGiorno. This is the guy's telling him,
Yeah.
He's going, but you got to go to the end of the line. All right. So finally he's sitting there. He's raising this big stink.
Okay.
And they literally had to carry him away.
No way.
Yes. They had to carry him away. And so here's my dad getting carried away by security. And he's yelling over the guy's shoulder, hey, Bob DelGiorno, Peter. And Michael's going, oh my God. He was going, I wanted to just die.
Yeah.
I said, Michael, you signed up for that.
Yeah, you did.
You signed up. You take a trip halfway across the country with an 85-year-old man.
Yeah.
That is, he's unique. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
He's pretty unique.
Yeah.
And you sleep in the same room with him. You dine with him. You shower with him.
Yeah.
And then you want to complain about it.
Yeah. And he never did get to meet Peter, did he?
No, he never met Peter.
You may remember Bob DelGiorno from Jump, yeah. Where Scooch works now.
God.
Scoot took his place, right? No, not quite.
So that just kind of explains that. So anyway.
Oh, well, you know what? I don't know. You can't blame your dad. Use your name when you can and, see where it gets you, right? What the heck? Why not? In the Cuse.
Okay, so, I got a little story to tell you. This is unbelievable. Okay, so here it is.
Okay.
LAX, Teddy, anything, LAX is it's its own thing. And it's a great place to really stargaze because that's when you see people, I saw Pat Benatar at LAX. We were in the line to get a bagel.
Pretty little Pat Benatar.
Yeah, we were in the line to get bagels.
Okay.
She got the onion bagel. I got the jalapeno and cheese bagel. And we were talking. Me and Pat Benatar. Lovely lady.
At the airport.
Very lovely lady. She's about 4 feet tall.
Yeah, she's
in
little.
heels. She's little bitty.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to do when I got there is I wanted to have a little lunch. A lunch thing. They got at LAX, they've got what's called Betcha Burger. You ever heard of Betcha Burger?
No, never have.
It's good. It's a good burger. It's a flame broiled burger. It's a Betcha Burger with grilled onions and cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Bud's Broiler here.
Oh, yeah. That's good then.
It's kind of, it's pretty good.
This is in the airport?
In the airport.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go to Betcha Burger.
Yep.
So I walk up to the line and I asked the guy, it's at 10 o'clock. I said, what time can I get a Betcha Burger? He said 10:30.
Okay.
So I go back at 10:30, and the lady tells me, no, it's not 10:30, it's 11 a.m. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But she says, I got bad news for you. I go, what's that? She goes, we don't have any burgers.
What? Burger?
The burger guy didn't show up to deliver the burgers that day.
Yeah.
I said, lady, you're Betcha Burger.
Right.
Only get your turkey sandwich. We can get you this, get that, but we got no burgers. I thought, okay, all right. So then I decided to go over to Chick-fil-A. Okay, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
Stand in line at Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
What time can I get a Chick-fil-A sandwich? They say 10:30.
As long as it's not Sunday.
Yeah. They say
Right,
10:30.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm in line to get the Chick-fil-A burger for 10:30.
They don't have burgers at Chick-fil-A.
A Chick-fil-A sandwich when I get up there at 10:30.
Yeah, I thought maybe in L.A.
I stand through the long line.
Yeah.
When I get there, it's like 10:25.
Yeah.
And they said, I'm sorry, sir, but not until 10:30. I said, just stood in line for 15 minutes.
What the
They
heck?
said, no, it's 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
So I would have to gone back to the end of the line. I go, this is crazy. So I went over there to Einstein Brothers Bagels. Okay. And got my bagel.
Mm-hmm.
But the meantime, while all this stuff's going on, you got Panda Express. They're like whipping up fried rice at 7 a.m.
Wow.
I mean, Panda Express. Let me tell you something about those Chinese people.
Yeah,
They don't care what freaking time it is.
They're
They don't-
always on.
Winter, spring, summer, fall.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be
Yeah.
7 a.m., 24/7. They're making fried rice. They're making kung pao.
Mhm.
They're making moo goo gai pan.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter what day either.
They're slinging away Christmas.
They don't have holidays.
No, there's no holidays, including Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay? Star date, 11 a.m. I had just been informed by Betcha Burger,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that the burgers are going to be there at 2 o'clock.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, I'm going to be gone at 2 o'clock. I didn't know. I mean,
Were you waiting to fly out?
Yeah, I was waiting. It was 4.5 hours. Remember, it was 4.5 hours late.
Yeah, your delay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So they said they'll be there at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
But they could not fulfill my burger obligation at 2 o'clock. Now, by that point, I already had a bagel. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then we go back to the gate.
Mm-hmm.
I see all the pre-board people. All right. I see that we're not going to get on the same plane. We're going to get on another plane.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the big kicker.
Okay.
We get on the plane. All right. Once we get on the plane, it's a completely full flight.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so I told Martha, I said, listen, when you get on this flight, all right, you go and sit next, because she's going to sit in the middle, I'm going to sit in the aisle, and then there's going to be a stranger by the window. I go, you find the smallest person by a window, and you go sit by him.
Yeah.
Okay. So we do.
Yeah.
And then guess what happens?
I don't know.
Somebody walks up to us and says, do you mind switching seats? Okay, so that, my husband can sit right behind me because she's sitting in front, and in sits this guy that's like 5'6".
Ooh,
and the lady says yes.
Big guy.
The lady says yes. I'm going, what are you doing, lady? I go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why you want to give up your seat? You got a window seat. You
Yeah.
sit in the middle seat.
Yeah.
Just so the guy can be behind his wife. Now I can understand he's sitting next to the wife, but behind the wife.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You gonna like lean over and talk through the crevice, and talk to your wife?
Jeez.
This
So she
guy's-
did it.
Yeah, and this guy's spilling over into Martha.
So he took the window seat.
He took the window seat.
Y'all had to move out, let her out, right?
Yeah.
And then this big guy moved in.
Yeah.
Sat down on the. Oh, jeez.
And he was letting the stinkiest farts I've ever smelled in my entire life. That's the end of that story.
Thank God. The end is here.
The end of that story and the end of this big show. I'm Victor DelGiorno, the king of all podcasting with Teddy. Don't forget that we are going to be at another event in September, another Landry event.
Okay.
We'll cover that.
It's new to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, that was that lady that told me that I gave her my card. She said she's heading up this other event
Oh, that's
on
right.
September
Yeah.
the 14th.
Yeah. Mhm.
So we'll get some information on Instagram so you can join us out there because you want to have people at the pool. The pool party was a big success.
Yep.
We want to thank Louisiana Lizzie for being on the show. We want to thank Jeff Landry and his campaign and all the people that are out there at Copeland Tower. And anything you got, Teddy?
It's just good to be back in the Coin Trader Studios here in beautiful Lakeview. It's good to know that we have a Prairieville studio.
Oh, yeah.
Where we can record. And by the way, we're gonna have Bobby Brown on.
Yes.
She has agreed to come on the podcast.
For those of you who don't know who Bobby Brown is, and every red-blooded American man knows who she is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like 40 or over, 40 or over.
Yeah.
Bobby Brown was the winner of the spokesmodel competition back in the 80s. It was hosted by Chuck Woolery. She went on from there to do this video, Cherry Pie with Warrant. You can Google it. It's called Cherry Pie.
The Cherry Pie girl in the video.
She ended up marrying the Cherry Pie lead singer.
She did, yes. He's now passed away, but they were married for a few years.
And then she was engaged to Tommy Lee.
And then she was engaged, yes,
and
right.
Tommy Lee was with...
He was with Motley Crue, right? Motley Crue, yeah.
Right.
They never got married. They were engaged, and
so he breaks up with her, and 3 days later marries Pamela Anderson.
That's according to Wikipedia.
Okay,
we'll and I think that is true. That is true. So Bobby's from Baton Rouge.
Yep.
And, left in the late 80s to Los Angeles and hasn't been back. Well, she's been back now for a couple years.
Yeah.
So she's back in Baton Rouge, and through some other people we have met.
She's a fourth grade teacher.
She's a teacher, and she's got quite a testimony to tell. And I asked her to come on the podcast. She said, let me know when.
And those of you that were big fans of Married with Children, it was a big Fox television show.
Yep.
She made frequent appearances on Married with Children because she was always Al Bundy's fantasy girl.
Yeah.
And anyway, you're going to want to hear this because it's a great story. Her name is Bobby Brown, and we're going to do that interview with her from the Prairieville studios. And that'll be in the next couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, I would say I don't know about a couple of weeks, but soon.
Yeah.
We'll get it. We have to schedule it.
And we got Craig Gaspard coming up. Craig Gaspard is an inventor. He's invented all kinds of cool stuff, and he's got this new robot that he's inventing that will prevent school mass shootings.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And he's already that's recorded, so that just needs to be posted. That's coming up. And he was on the pool party.
Yeah, he was on the
Remember,
pool
he was
party
at the
with
pool
us.
party,
He was
him
at
and
the
his
pool
wife.
party,
And so he was on, with us for some of that. So
what's his wife name again, Jessica?
His wife is Jessica, yes.
Lovely
and
lady.
So, Craig will be on probably the next couple weeks.
Yeah, and of course, just to let you know, our good friend Luke Hawks, actor, wrestler, stuntman extraordinaire, is getting married October the 23rd in San Jose.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be attending that wedding with all the wrestlers. It's going to be freaking crazy.
San Jose?
San Jose, California. That's where Sonia's from.
Oh, I got
And it's going to be an Indian wedding.
Yeah. Okay.
An Indian wedding with all the Indian garb and all the costumes.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be really cool. And all those wrestlers, are you kidding me? It's going to be wild.
That's going to be wild,
And so we'll be doing some cut-ins from there. That's going to be in October. Anyway, lots of neat stuff coming up. So be sure that you stay with us and follow us on Instagram. How can they follow us also, Teddy? Give us the rundown real quick.
Right. TikTok, we're over 7,000. We're looking for, I want to get that thing to 10,000, if at all possible. And soon, just look up AOTR New Orleans or AOTR. You'll find our page on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. What else? YouTube. We'll start doing some more video, hopefully. Share the show.
Redesigning the studio. Redesigning it for video.
Yeah, and on Apple Podcasts, it's really important to help out the show. If you like the show, you listen to the show, when you listen on Apple Podcasts or whatever platform, leave a review.
Yeah.
It's really important. Hopefully a positive review, obviously. But just leave a review and a rating.
Yeah.
1 to 5 ratings, I think. So 5 being, the best, of course. Leave a rating, leave a review. That would be great.
Hey, even bad publicity is better than no publicity. The most important thing to do, though, is to share the show, Teddy, because what? Sharing is caring. God bless y'all.
Come on, the Coin Trader Studios, we're bringing it live. And who am I go by the name of Darkest Night. And Jada Hoyos is the one who brings a sick beat, to which we're getting pumped for topics this week. So now you grab my grape soda and take a sip, while I turn it over to Katie, Nick, Ted, and Vic. It's all over. We're all over the road. We got a brand new show, so just lo and behold, from the bayou to the city to the burbs to the swamps, you better know what time it is when you're hearing that.
All Over the Road New Orleans is brought to you by CoinTrader Inc. For real-time prices on gold, silver, palladium, and platinum 24/7, go to goldpricesnow.com. That's goldpricesnow.com.
We thank you all. This is the announcer guy speaking. For 4 seasons and All Over the Road, the podcast, New Orleans.